Actually, I'm going this way.
I think it's definitely going to be a tougher game than we think it's going to be just because we beat them by so much last time. Some people may think that it's just going to be a walk in the park, but I think we really need to prepare for them being a new team. And that's why I think we're going to practice on the grass a few days this week just to get our feet ready and, make sure we're not taking too large steps. So, I don't know. I think if we prepare for it the same way we've been doing all year, we should be able to go 1-0 this week.
I think that we faced them earlier on in the season, and as the season progresses with us and with most teams, you get better. And I know that we beat them by a lot, but I think that they were a much better football team than it looked like when they faced us, and I think that they're only going to have more energy knowing that the only team that they lost to was us, and that they're going to want to take it to us, especially on their home field. They're not going to want to lose. I mean, they obviously think that they're going to have the advantage having their fans and it being on grass, and I definitely think it's going to be a much more intense game, and they're going to they're not going to just give up and just be like, oh, we lost to them 40-6. It's not going to work out for us. I think that they're really going to bring it to us, and we have to be prepared for that.
It's always hard going up to Plymouth. They have a great atmosphere there. And, last time we were there, we had a good game. And, earlier this year when we played them, we also had a great game. So, I don't think it matters where we play. We're always going to perform. And, going to Plymouth is just another game. I wish we could be home again. I would love another home game. That was the last time I was able to play on that field. So, going to Plymouth is always, it's not amazing, but, we'll take care of business up there.
And our coach has been touching on that recently, especially in our most recent film session yesterday. He was talking about how this is definitely a different team, and they're going to be way more physical on both sides of the ball, and we have to be ready for their best. They're in the same situation. They have a lot of guys who want to keep playing, and it's gonna be a battle.
Yeah, it's going to be way closer than the regular season. I think maybe the weather didn't favor either team the first time we played them, but I think they had a couple turnovers, maybe because of the weather, and it started to snowball a little bit, and we were just able to be opportunistic on all our opportunities, and our guys caught everything that night in the rain, and our guys were pretty juiced up. For this time, it's semifinals, right? It means a little bit more. The winner goes on to the championship, and the loser's just going to stay home like everyone else. So there's more at stake, and maybe they'll be a little bit more excited playing at home. I got to imagine anybody would, and they're going to be better coached up since then. And we've watched, we've seen film. They've been a way better team since when we played them.
It's cold out there.
I think it's just we got to make sure we come flying out on all cylinders. But I think we've showed that we can do that, and I think that if we do what we're capable of and we don't let the long bus ride affect us, I don't think that we should have a problem getting out there and playing to our full potential. And I think that it's going to be a very fun game going up there.
We know what we're playing for. We know we're playing a better Plymouth team than we did in the regular season. So, we have both teams have one goal in mind. That's to go to the championship and win this game this Saturday. So, we know it's going to be a hard, tough battle. We're going to have to play tough. We're going to have to utilize our advantages, and we're going to have to play a really good game. So, I think the mentality is just to be, on point. We're going to have to, we can't miss assignments, we can't make mistakes. It's going to be different type of game we're used to.
I think it's the force that they have up front. They have linemen that are strong and fast. I think that for us, them having those guys is going to affect us the most. I think that our speed matches up with their speed very well when it comes to their receivers and their running backs. But I think just the force up front and the push that they have is going to make it the most difficult to defend. I think our D linemen's going to need to play like at the top of their game, and I think our middle backers and outside backers are going to need to make sure that we're doing our assignments, and we can't risk making those little mistakes. But their strongest point is definitely the guys that they have up front. They're definitely need to go into game planning around those guys. They're very good.
Off the end, they ran off the tackle as well a lot, and they broke that one big play. And if we are able to stop those big plays, which we only let them have one, then we will have a great job, or we'll have a great game. And I think we did that pretty well against them the first time, but we just had that one that broke loose. So if we just eliminate that, I think we'll be fine.
I think we just have to be ready to stop the run on defense. I think they sprung loose a couple of times when we played them regular season, and we can't allow big play touchdowns or just big plays in general. And we just gotta execute. They were a pretty physical team from what I remember.
I think, they're, like I said, I think they're a better team than we did play them in the regular season game. But if anything, I think it would just be their discipline, their mental toughness. I know they have size, they have speed, but I think the biggest thing is just their mental toughness and how they're coached and how disciplined they are. They're not gonna make much mistakes. They're gonna do their assignments. They're gonna do everything they can, and they won't. Like I said, they won't make a lot of mistakes doing it. So I think that's just the biggest thing is I'm pretty sure we got a couple turnovers that game in the regular season, so we know that was kind of, something that they usually don't do. So we're just gonna not have to rely on stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing is if our defense makes, does do what they've been doing, these past couple weeks and making those big fourth down stops, and our offense keeps doing what they're doing with the pass game, with the run game, I think we'll be really good.
And they got great players. Emmett Nossman is a problem on both offense and defensive lines. Gabe Keane, anytime he gets the football, can take it the distance. And they got other backs that are just going to pound you, and other linemen that are really strong and physical. And they got a great inside linebacker in 83, and Diamond does a great job at commanding that offense. And it's going to be an awesome football game. Classic Souhegan Plymouth. Coach Sanborn obviously does a great job. He and I are pretty good friends, and I think fairly highly of him and their program, and Tom Lamb and all those guys. And they're the Plymouth and Exeter, and that's what programs should aspire to be if you're a program in New Hampshire that's trying to build something. So, all the respect to Plymouth and their pride and tradition, and they got a great football team. But no, it should be awesome on Saturday.
Even, run, ready.
It's definitely not something that's talked about a lot, but we all know it. I remember growing up as a little kid, my cousin being on the team, and watching Plymouth just obliterate us in the first round of playoffs. And it's just so different up there, and especially in the playoffs, everyone's fighting for that next game. Could be your last, or could have another one. So everyone's fighting for the same thing.
We don't really worry about the past so much. We know we're both two different teams now, and it's a new year, so we're just trying to get that win this week.
There is a lot of history between the two teams, and just in general with Plymouth always being a great team. They've never really had a bad year, and that's another reason why they're probably going to want to take it to us when we go to them. They're not going to want to lose on home field, especially to Souhegan, a team that's always kind of rivaled them.
He harps on how difficult it was back, obviously back when he was playing. He says that he never won. Going up there, he said it's just a different atmosphere, just everything that Plymouth has going on as a program and as a school. It's a hard place to play. And so he was like harping on that when we played them in the past year, saying that he's never just gone up to Plymouth and beaten them like that. So we know about Plymouth. We know about the situation that they have up there, how much of like a great place it is to play, and how difficult it's going to be. And I think it prepares us well to be able to go out there and try to not let it affect us.
You know, it's a bit of a balance. I think that once we kind of got the monkey off our backs in 2020, you know, it kind of lifted a lot of that. But, you know, I don't know if these kids care what happened when Coach Bowker was playing against Plymouth, you know. And really, I think they understand the like cool rivalry that it is and the history between the two teams. But they'll be focused on the 2023 Plymouth, on this Plymouth team, and you know, going to Plymouth is always fun. Always enjoyed it, and I think that they got their sights set, and they're going to look to go 1-0 this week, and they know that they're facing a great opponent in Plymouth, and I think that they're just really excited to be together for one more week, and they hope that it's for one more week next week, but they understand what they need to do to take care of business to win this football game. They know it's not going to be easy, but I think that they're just that much more, you know, sometimes we're a little too loose at times, but I think in a situation like that, being loose and playing loose and having fun helps us in this scenario.
All right, now let's go. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together. Party like it's Captain's in 1 minute. Captain's in 1 minute. And Heather.
We're all walking out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't think you should hold back any of those, you know, like feelings you have about being your last game, but that also means you know that it's their last game and you're going to get the best that they can give. So just as you're preparing for them, like they're going to be preparing for you, and you just need to take that into account when you know you're going out there and you're giving it your all.
Talk about it. Obviously, Coach Bauquet always brings up going 1-0. We even talked about it like over the practices last week, talking about going 1-0 this week, and then trying to go 1-0 just week after week. He makes sure that we know like the situation that we're in, and obviously the players know if we lose, we're out. So we make sure that we talk about it. I feel like being able to talk about it kind of gets guys fired up a little bit, and it kind of helps the younger guys understand that, I mean, these are the seniors' last games. I think it just gives us a sense of like urgency, and honestly like just brings us to another level. And we do make sure we talk about that, and we definitely make sure that it doesn't go unnoticed.
The kid, and it came out of the socket, and I could feel it. Just kind of felt like I jammed my finger, and then I looked down at my glove, and then my glove was just like, it was just sideways, and I just remember thinking like, all right, this is okay. It won't really be a big deal. I'll just be able to run off. It'll get put back, and I'll be able to run back on. But I ran off, and Marcus couldn't get back in place, and called over the orthopedic surgeon, and they numbed it up, and they couldn't get back into place either, just because there was something blocking the joint, or we didn't know what was going on. But I definitely thought it was going to be a smaller issue than it actually ended up being. You know, you don't think of like just a dislocated finger. It's really just nothing. You can just put it back into place, but it ended up being a lot more than, you know, what I think
anytime you go into games like this, you always prepare for like the oh crap moments, you know, like, all right, well, if this kid goes down, what's our plan of action after that? But I don't know if we ever really did that for a kid like Cole. And then you don't realize, like, all right, he's probably our quarterback's favorite option to go to. He's been playing great on defense, which maybe we weren't expecting him to do as well as he did on defense for us his senior year. And then he also, like, was on a couple special teams. He was our holder all year. And then our backup receiver, who's also our backup quarterback, also handles a lot of our play calling in terms of signals. So then it was we're kind of scrambling for that a little bit too. So there was a lot more trickle effect that had happened. But, ultimately that's, while it's just one little piece, I don't think that's the reason why we lost that game. And, I just have to do a better job as a coach and coaching these guys and get them ready and put our team in a better position to win. And I didn't get it done. But the guys that came in for him and the guys that needed to play a lot more did a nice job stepping up.
Flag down on the play.
When we watched in film, when we saw them in person, we told them all week, hey, this is a much improved football team than when we played them earlier in the year. So, and we told them, hey, it is not going to be like it was. So they knew they were in for a battle, in for a dogfight, and they just looked better coached. They executed way better. And we knew that they were going to – it's hard to beat a team twice. We knew that they were going to want it for sure. And they did. So I don't think that they were, I don't know, maybe some kids just thought the same thing was going to happen. But no, I mean, we knew going in it was going to be way harder the second time.
They definitely seemed a little more like in tune with their team. I don't know if it was just because they were playing at home or they had a big crowd or it was 1 o'clock on a Saturday. They were playing what they were comfortable with, but they definitely seemed more in tune with like their offense and their defense.
I think the biggest thing that I was surprised about when I played them earlier in the season was like they were making just little mistakes, and obviously they fixed that up, which was the biggest thing for me. They looked fluent. They looked like they were all doing their assignments correctly, and they were playing with a little bit more intensity and aggression than we saw beforehand. So I wouldn't have even known it was the same team. I think that they came here. I know their running back was down, so they had the larger guy running the ball, which I think definitely affected us as well. But they were a completely different team, and I could tell that they're much more ready to play us this time than they were beforehand.
I mean, they definitely seem like a different team. They're getting a really good push up front from their line. They had a different running back that was running the ball a lot more than they'd had previously. So I think just with that, it was a little harder for us to stop them on defense than it was the first time. And, our offense was clicking a little bit, but had some, not great plays that kind of contributed to us not scoring as much.
They were definitely they were more physical. They were moving to the ball better as a unit and less individually. I just think they grew just as a program and a team. I think they got closer. I'm sure, and which happens throughout the season. All the time. It's just bound to happen. But I think they had a big jump and they faced some good adversity earlier, and that helped prepare them for this game.
We definitely we knew they were gonna be better, and I mean they did. They had a little different energy to them. They were getting off the ball really fast. They were all, getting to the ball. They were playing really, they're playing physical. So I mean, before the game, I feel like we kind of knew it was our game from the start. This shit, so. Getting on the board and everything, it wasn't too surprising, and we thought just keep this up, we'll come out with the win. And it was just, but it did seem a little different as they were coming with a lot of energy. It was they were playing their game.
acting like we were losing that game by a lot at halftime, just because we expected to be winning by a lot more at that point. And even like the coaches were like, guys, come on, like keep your heads up. We're winning the game right now. And like we might not be like at the score we want to be, but you have to keep looking at the bright side. We're still winning at that point. And that morale, the morale was very low at halftime for us, I think. And I think that kind of caused that momentum to switch over to their side.
I think the captains really had to bring the tone at halftime just because, they were coming off a score. And I think, although we were up by a touchdown, I think everybody was just getting down on themselves. So even though we were winning, I don't know why, but people thought that we were losing. And I think at that point is when we beat ourselves. When you already think you lost, but in reality you're up by a touchdown. You should be celebrating right now.
It kind of felt like if you just looked at both teams, it kind of looked like they were the ones winning at half. So we kind of just try to get into our guys pick our heads up. Like we're the ones winning right now. We just keep executing, doing our thing, and I think that was just the biggest thing is just to. For our guys to start picking up the energy.
I think that guys are a little bit more surprised that the game was closer than it was, and I think that they're a little bit more upset that it was as much of the game as it was, which I think was a big problem for us. I think they need to realize that it's a privilege to be able to play in a game like that, and I think we almost passed up on the opportunity to kind of dig into the ground and be able to push through. I think that really affected us poorly, and I think that once again, I think it was up to the captains. We should have let them know the situation, let them know that this is a great opportunity that not everybody gets, and I mean it was a privilege to go up there and play them for sure.
I don't think we did enough. I think that's a good point. Definitely walking up, you gotta walk up the hill till they get to the locker room. You could see a couple of guys that seemed like they were out of it. They weren't really we're at a football game right now, and that wasn't really present in enough guys. And I think just the urgency to get back out on the field, and I think everybody was just cold, and we just didn't have that morale that we usually do, and I don't think that I think that translated onto the field in the second half. I don't think that our effort was as good as it could have been, and I think that definitely tied into our attitudes in the locker room at halftime.
You felt like it maybe could have been about 28-6 and 28-7, and you would have felt pretty good after that. We're getting the ball at half. But that wasn't the case. We missed on some opportunities. And, it's my job to get them ready at halftime and get them to bounce back. And we even said it on the field as coaches, we kind of got it out of our system. And then it's all right, when we go back in there, hey, you're still at 14-7. You guys are still great football players and a great football team. Let's go in, take care of our bit, fix our mistakes, go in there, execute, and have a great second half. I just didn't do a good enough job at that, and a lot of the credit goes to Coach Sanborn and Plymouth and those kids, and they just got a bunch of gritty kids over there, and they played hard and played tough, and they earned every bit of it. So, but no, I got to be better.
Touchdown, Bobcats.
100%, a lot of pressure. I don't have my main guy, Cole, in. We have guys stepping up to the to the challenge, and it was just, I mean, like you said, them taking those half quarter drives, it does bring a little more pressure too, because I mean we're just on the sideline. I'm just like it was a cold day, so get in there, just standing on the sideline for that long, just seeing them, not being able to be on offense for I'd say like a half a quarter. It does, it kind of just kind of gets me to try to stay locked in as much as I can, do what I can, but at the same time, it's just you're standing there for 6 minutes in the cold, and it's just you kind of just, I don't know, you're not really you kind of get out of it, and you're just trying to mentally stay there. So I think it's a lot, especially going into the drive. You're like, if we don't get this, it could be a ball game. So
We always want to be perfect, and that's always something we strive for. I think every football program wants to be good, but we definitely hammer the little things, and all this. Our routine just builds for an environment where you're going to want to be perfect, and definitely in that second half.
When our offense is scoring, we're doing good, and when there's a few times where we aren't scoring, then I think our offense goes into a little bit of a panic. Me myself on offense, I didn't play great. Once we, started to see that adversity and noticing that we aren't guaranteed this win, we actually have to work for it. And I think that overall for our offense, we just weren't able to perform at what we usually can.
I think that probably certain guys and probably felt that a little bit, myself included, and that's on me as a head coach and play caller to put our team and our players in those positions as best we can during practice to emulate game-like scenarios, especially when the game is on the line, and that's on me to do so.
Definitely puts more pressure on the offense. I think, all year round, our defense will be able to just, get the turnovers, get the ball back. And although we're able to score on pretty much every drive, we also weren't tested in the way that you can only score on these drives. You have to. In a lot of the other games, I feel like we felt we knew we were going to score, but it didn't feel like we had to score in this drive. In this game, it was you have to score in order to win. You don't have spare drives to work with.
I think that was a big problem. I mean, the pressure I think was getting to our heads a little bit at every position. I think we were making little mistakes that were kind of out of the ordinary for us. I feel like usually when we're up a couple scores or when the game's just started, we kind of feel like we're at a fresh start, and it's just routine. We don't often get challenged like we did. I mean, like you said, it was very similar to the Timberland game, and I do think that the pressure did get to our heads a little bit. And it kind of put us in a situation where we felt like we needed to score, and I think we were just overthinking it, and it put us in a bad situation.
Down on the play. Flag down on the play.
I just knew that we had to go out and score on offense. Like, we had a lot of time, and we're pretty good at scoring quick, so I wasn't like too worried. But at the same time, we knew that if we didn't like convert on that possession and score, that they'd have the ball with little time, that they'll be able to just knee it, and that'll be the game.
And that's the end of the game. Final score, Souhegan 20, Plymouth 21.
I'll never play again was a big thing. Like, I'd been playing all this time, and that was the last time I'm gonna play, and it brought back some good memories and stuff. But like, looking around at all my friends that I've been playing with for so long, like, we're never gonna share that again. We're gonna share the memories, but we're never gonna actually experience it again in the moment. So it was pretty sad.
Right after the game, right after they needed out, it was kind of just, I was pissed off. A lot of it falls back onto the quarterback at the end of the day, and, how they played. And I know I didn't play my best game. I know I didn't play as well as I should have, so I think a lot of it I kind of felt down in the fact that I thought it was my fault. And, kind of accepting the feeling.
It was a lot of emotions going through all of our heads. Obviously, we were upset. I know a bunch of guys felt like if they did that little thing that we would have come out on top, but I try to tell them that it's a team sport, and not to get too worried about their individual efforts is the reason that we lost.
It was a pretty surreal moment. I definitely wasn't the first to start crying, but once I'm a very emotional guy, and I love my teammates, each of them, so much, and I was definitely, once I saw them crying and them hurting, that's when it got to me, and I was just like, it hurts me to see them hurt, and that was definitely a tough moment. Especially too, I was reflecting a lot while I was out there on the field, thinking to the championship last year, watching all the seniors, like all my friends crying, and I was like, I was crying last year as well, but I was like, I'm sure it's not gonna or like it'll never hurt that bad, and it hurt that bad. It was bad, and
Hey, super proud of this group. Super proud of this group. We got a lot of next guy up there. All right, next guy up. And guys battle. All right. Hey, not the way you wanted to finish here. Not the way you wanted to finish. All right. But I am so proud of this group. I love coaching you guys. There's nothing better that I love than coaching this team right here. You guys, it's been a pleasure. You guys are awesome. We'll always remember you. You seniors have embodied everything that Souhegan football is all about. I can't be more proud of you guys. Play with hard balls in class forever. You do everything at a championship level. You understand? You do everything at a championship level. Hey, I love all of you. It is so much fun coaching you guys. All right? I'm proud of how you fought. Wasn't our day. Wasn't our day. All right? Hey, you make sure when we get a break here, right? You make sure you love up every senior after this. You understand? You understand? Hey, where you go? Where you go? Where you go? Hey, let's go. Together on three. 1, 2, 3. Together.
I hate losing, so I mean, that was a lot of it. And then I think the biggest, part when I just I understood that was like the last game for my seniors, and those are like my brothers. So, understanding that was the last time I was gonna ever play with those seniors, it was, that was tough.
Obviously disappointed, angry, upset, but still obviously 4 years here. I mean, we've all had a great career, and I think that we have a lot to be proud of. And I made sure that didn't go unnoticed. I made sure that they knew all the players, that every single player contributed this season, and I think that we do have a lot to be proud of. As much as it sucks going out like that, we still so much good has come from this program, and I think that just can't go unnoticed at all.
just a couple of guys were devastated. This team, this program means so much to a lot of us, and we spent all of our school careers just going through Souhegan football, and I'm sure I'm positive it'll always be a part of us, and it's installed characteristics in all of us. But it was just wow, I'm never gonna play football again. That moment, when you take off your pads for the last time, is a really, really heavy moment. Just I'm never gonna do this again. Never gonna put the pads back on.
This was definitely the most fun I've ever had playing football this year. We had so many fun moments, even through losses, losing that Timberlane game and losing people to injuries. We still had so much fun, and I think that just shows especially for our coaching. Coach Bowcut does such a great job keeping everyone entertained at practice, and always doing new things and just making it as fun as possible. And we just love that, and we love just getting out there and playing. Even if we were a team that was 2-7, I think this group would have still had fun. So even though we didn't live up to playing that championship game against Pelham, we still enjoyed playing with each other.
It's definitely upsetting. I got hurt in the third play of the game, so when you get taken out in your final game of your senior season, that hits a little home. But stuff happens, and I was just trying to be the best I could on the sideline the whole game. So just trying to just push our team to the championship. I guess we couldn't do it, but I was just trying to do my part. As a senior, every game that you've ever played leads up to your final game in your senior year, and when something like that happens, you kind of get a little pissed off. So I guess I was pissed, but again, I was just trying to do my part.
I think the season turned out fantastic. I think that our players as well, not just me, and our coaches are all on the same page. I think that we have a ton to be proud of. I know we returned a lot of guys, and I think that we filled the roles nicely for what we lost last season. I think that we had a lot of players develop extremely well on defense and offense, and I think that we set up our guys next year for success. I think there's going to be a lot of playmakers there, and I think that obviously we had those couple losses, but for the most part they were all close, and I think that obviously if we did a couple things different, our season could have been different. But I think that I'm very happy with the way that it played out, and I don't think I'd want it any other way.
It was a fantastic season. I couldn't ask for anything better. You know, I'm sure all of us wanted a different outcome, but it's not the end of the world. I still had a blast. You know, I got to go out there and just play my heart out with my boys, and it was really, really good last run. I had a lot of fun.
I mean, from like right after the game, you know, we feel like it was like a failed season. You know, our expectations were high. We were supposed to make it to the championship. We were supposed to get another game against Pelham. But, you know, after looking at it, we had a great season. You know, not a lot of teams made it to where we were. You know, a lot of our guys had great seasons. I mean, the biggest part is just we built a great family. And you'll always remember that. And the memories we made, there's nothing like it. Football, you know. I think a lot of us got a great amount out of it, whether it was just not just, you know, getting to where we were. It was just a lot of the kind of the bonds we made and everything that went to it, you know. We couldn't have that. I mean, of course, could have asked for like a better season and, you know, get into a little further, but I mean, really couldn't have asked for anything more than what we got out of the players, what we got out of the coaches, and like everything that came from it. So, you know, that was the good part of it.
I know this. Obviously, we probably would have liked to have played in one more game, and if it had ended then it ended then. It didn't. We ran into a great football team and who played their tails off, and that day just wasn't our day. But if you look at it as a whole, like, it's, you know, did we win the games we're supposed to? Did we, whatever, we don't really worry about expectations. But at the end of the day, I had a ton of fun with my staff and with our players. And we went to practice every day, and it was never a bear, it was never a burden. It was awesome. It was fun for 2 hours. We were playing music. The kids were a joy to be around. The kids were making memories, you know, whether it's on the bus or at Camp Robin Hood or at practice or just in the locker room or whatever it is. And they just enjoyed being together, and they enjoyed every moment of it. And, you know, just unfortunate that it maybe finished up a week less than we wanted to. But those guys will look back in their 4 years and say, hey, we won a lot of football games, but, you know, hopefully I met some of my best friends playing Souhegan football. It was the toughest thing we'd ever done in high school, but it was the most rewarding. And, you know, hopefully they'll look at it down the road where it's like, hey, you know, I'm a better man, husband, father, you know, person because I played Souhegan football, you know, because I got to spend as much time with coaches and the guys that I grew up with, you know, a couple hours a day. And I think hopefully they look back at that and realize how special it was, and, you know, just what a great group of players to be around.
Welcome to Souhegan Football 2023. It's going to be awesome. It always comes quick, right? It's like 4th of July comes, and then next thing you know, boom, football. It's awesome. Like, we're juiced up to be here. I know everyone here knows who I am, but I'm Coach Balkis. Let's go. Gonna be juiced up. Look at me! Now we can do dynamic practice. Oh yeah! Yes! Yeah! We get ready before dynamic. Dynamic! Yeah! We got the dance.
buddy. The biggest thing that I learned as being a football player here is you have to be able to do things off the field on your own time. I think that when I came here as a freshman, I swung up varsity, and my first game, I saw the size of some of these players, and the first thing that I thought was I need to get with the program. And I think that a lot of our other players felt the same exact way. And obviously we have a great brotherhood here and such a great atmosphere and environment. We have a great coaching staff as well. But I think the biggest thing that I took away from here is things that I need to do to set myself up for success. And when it's in the classroom and on the football field, it goes the same way academically. You need to be able to put in extra work to kind of get ahead. And if you're falling behind, the coaches, and it also goes for teachers as well. They're always here to lend you a hand and help you along the way. And I think that other than that, what I've learned is just that the coaches, and I know carries over to teachers as well. They're all there to help you, and don't be afraid to ask questions. And making a mistake is not gonna hurt you. It'll actually set you up for success in the long run.
You just get this community of guys that you'll know forever. All these seniors, we're pretty close, and we're gonna have friendships for life after these last 4 years, and just learning different things, even losing games, it teaches you, that even though if you lose, you have to bounce back, play the next week. Having a quick memory, that was a thing that was preached upon, and there's just so much that anyone can take out of a season like this, and I'm just very grateful for it.
It's really just Coach Belcat says it really well. He constantly says, seniors, you only get so many of these. This is the time of your life. You're in your prime, you're in your youth. And it's a lot of it is super real and super true. And this, Robin Hood is such a fun experience and indescribable. That'll always be one of my favorite parts about this football program. But just good characteristics, good morals, and helping the little guy. And they really harp on a lot of good stuff at here at Souhegan football. And I think those, being a good man, and but also just being in the moment and appreciating things and just having fun are definitely my biggest takeaways.
I've seen a lot of other programs. I've seen how they operate, and I just think there's nothing like Souhegan football. I've made some of the best relationships I could possibly imagine on this team, and I've learned a lot of life lessons. And yeah, it's great to have this account on my senior season, especially because in 5-10 years I'll be able to look back and as you said, time changes your perspective on things, but I still think in 5 to 10 years I'll be thinking the same thing, looking back on the memories. And
in 2020, that was really the first year, not the first year, but that was really that class as a whole, that they did everything that we asked. They drank the Kool-Aid, and they were awesome football players, but they were awesome dudes as well. And I think that every year since then, it's been the same. And the leadership that's required to get guys where they want to go and playing in November, and they understand what that looks like now. So hopefully year in and year out, it's just a little bit of the same thing, and every class puts their own flavor on it. But I think that this senior class embodied the Sabers standards that we have in all aspects of their life. In the weight room, in the classroom, in the community, giving back, being what it means to be a great teammate, all those things. And they did all of it. And they were just great kids to be around. And really, especially in my new-ish role here at school, I just have more FaceTime with them than I ever have with my players. So it's been really special. But yeah, no, there's a lot of great players in there, but a kid like JJ comes around once every 10 years, So obviously that's going to be tough to losing a kid like that, but it's everything that JJ does, that has nothing to do with his ability as a football player, that he brings. And with that, it's the same thing for all those other guys. Cole and Bobo and Brett Bouvier and Sam LeBlanc and right, the list goes on. Kemley, Sebastian F. Danis, like that whole Connor Cassidy, Kavanaugh, like that whole group, just really special. So we're gonna miss them for sure.